Welcome, all you vigilant void challengers out there, to another Tracks on Sundays. I'm Tracks and Max, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're on the OnlyVoids account again. And last week I had a couple of comments on my video. I always read all my comments. I try to comment on them as well if I can, if I know what to say to it at least. Sometimes I don't fully understand the comments, but that's another issue. But I took two comments from last week, and they sort of had the same goal in mind. So I took these two comments right here, and as the cool kids say, I got you, fam. Now, last week I was talking about how the speeds would probably have to be a lot higher for us to be able to throw out Eurogrim and throw in someone like a Kemptum, right? With the 18% speed buff versus the 20% speed buff that Eurogrim has. But I noticed something while I was playing Live Arena last week. I had a bunch of these saved up, these medals, and I went to go to area bonuses. And scrolling down, I found out that my Demon Lord, the speed was actually only on level 1 still. Now, I don't know if there's one level 1 here. So if you take a look here, that costs 300 to upgrade to level 2, and from 2 to 3 it costs 600. And I was sitting on like 850 of these or something when I noticed, hey, I can actually bring up this to level 3 from level 1, which will net me 4 speed, which, when you're trying to push your speeds up a little bit, that's pretty handy. So I thought, this is it, right? This is the key for me to get the speeds that I need. And yeah, I just grinded my Great Hall basically in Live Arena a little bit to get the extra speed that we needed to make it all possible, which was great, right? Pretty awesome. Taking these two thoughts, I went to work this week, right? And we were successful. I can show you here. Voila. If I want to do this, I have a quick battle available to me right now. That's because we were able to one key Nightmare, right? And our Ultra Nightmare is also very easily 2-keying now. Like, we're getting really decent numbers on it. So that's great. Good job, right? Obviously, Spirit is still the issue. I talked about that a little bit in the previous one, but that's not that important. There is something important to tell about the whole composition, though. Something that I just partly forgot about, but also didn't catch. Okay, so there's some issues with this composition, and that's what I want to kind of talk about today as well. First, I'll just go over my Kemptum build real quick. It's nothing really special. I just try to get 100% crit rate, get some decent crit damage on him, and 230 speed, some decent attack, accuracy to allow his debuffs, and yeah, that's just basically it. We didn't get him into Savage or anything like that, unfortunately, but yeah. I mean, we already have one dude in Savage, so it's kind of hard to get everyone into Savage, right? I'm also using only his A1 in the clan boss, and as you can see, we still need quite some books for both the A1 and the A2, so there's a little bit of room for improvement here too, right? We're using Nature's Wrath. I don't know if this is actually the best one to use for him, but it seemed pretty decent since we can get 6% extra damage if he has 3 poisons up. Now, going into this, I was just mostly concerned about the speeds, right? That's the only thing I was really concerned about. But there were two things that I kind of overlooked. Now, the previous comp, what did Eurogrim bring to the table? He brought 20% speed in all battles, really good. Made sure that we could keep our speeds lower of the other champions, right? A1 double poison, or chance at double poison at least. A3 bizarre vapors, places 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns, also places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Together with Renegade and her reset ability, that meant that Uragrim was putting up quite some poisons, but also putting up quite some continuous heal buffs. So the team was healing in the background without me actually catching that they were healing in the background. That's something that I completely missed with the whole comp. Now, Trax, why is that important? Well, 2 reasons why that's important. First off, Renegade is really cool and really good and all. She has a semi-reset ability, if you will. But the problem with that reset ability is right here. This champion will receive damage equal to 30% of their max HP. This will happen even if it kills this champion. So when these continuous heal buffs started to disappear because, well, we took Eurogrim out of the team and we replaced him with a Kempton, a way better damage dealer, by the way, way better. The problem is Renegade was killing herself, right? Because she was just doing her A3 every second turn of the clan boss. Whoop, 30% less HP. Let's go. So by turn, I don't know, 10 or so, she was like dead. She just literally killed herself. And I was like, what is going on? Why is this failing suddenly? The speeds were all correct, right? It was all working. And then I started to notice that she was losing HP, and I was like, wait, what? Why is she losing HP? And then I figured, oh, right. She's not getting any HP anymore. There's no continuous heals. So that was like a part of the whole composition that maybe you guys caught in the comments. I'm sure a lot of you smart people did. I didn't see that. I didn't catch that. So that kind of makes the first composition even more genius, right? Because it kind of like they work well together, right? They just fill each other in where they needed to. Him giving the heals and the speed, poisons on top. It just clicked like that. Now we fixed that problem by just putting her into a lifesteal set. I didn't want to do that, but I mean, we do want the clan boss team to run, right? So that it was just necessary to get it all going. That with the War Master proc, we all know how that works by now. It's just one of the strongest healing combos in the entire game. War Master plus lifesteal equals a buttload of HP gain, right? So she just keeps herself alive by attacking and occasionally hitting that War Master proc. It's fine. Now, the continuous heal buffs weren't only affecting Renegade, though. They were actually also affecting this guy right here. Turvold? How do they affect Turvold, Trax? Well, Turvold has this A2 that places attack buff, increase crit rate buff, and increase speed buff. Then grants an extra turn. This part right here, the extra turn, is where things started to go south with this new composition as well. Especially on Void Affinity Demon Lord. Void Affinity Demon Lord puts up poisons. So what would happen is he would do his A2, the poison tick would go off, right? But it wouldn't take damage yet because he would still have a block damage buff on. But then when he takes his extra turn, the poison that's on there would pinch off a little bit of a HP, right? Just a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. And it was actually funny because it was like just enough for the team to be doing around 30-ish million damage. So the first time I did this comp on auto, I walked away, came back, and they did like 33 million or something like that. I was like, damn, that must have been some really bad RNG, right? Like, doing way better before, but hey, maybe they just didn't land any debuffs, no brimstones or whatever. I wasn't thinking much of it, right? A day or two after that, I suddenly noticed that he was actually getting really, really low at a certain point during a clown boss run. So I investigated that, right? And that's when I found that all out, right? That he was actually losing HP and dying at a certain point in the run, and well, we had to fix that too. So what I did was I changed his masteries up and made sure he had this life drinker mastery. I don't remember exactly. I think we had Whirlwind of Death before, which really helped in like dungeons and Doom Tower and even Arena to get some extra speed every time he kills someone. But unfortunately, we have to take this life drinker just to have this composition be viable, because otherwise the poisons kill him because he takes an extra turn. And again, in Ultra Nightmare, we want to take that extra turn because we can, right? It's there. It's a lot of damage we're leaving on the table if we don't use this on Ultra Nightmare. On Brutal and on Nightmare, we can't use this, but it's okay. We're still doing the 1-key Brutal. We're doing the 1-key Nightmare, so who cares, right? For the Ultra Nightmare, really want this. So had to change this to Life Drinker. It's not a big deal, but that's what happened this week, and yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Now, Akemtum is the star of the show, basically, because, well, he's the one who's making this all possible. I guess we can do a run real quick. I need to do my second one anyway. Let's make sure we're all in Ultra Nightmare. Yep, we are. Again, you can see I have this turned off. I'll show you guys the speeds that I have now because, well, they're different from last week, right? So, Akemtum is 230, Kafru is still 122. So I had to actually switch his gear around too because he already was 122 and he needs to be 122. I was getting 4 speed from the live arena bonuses, so I had to cut speed somewhere to get this the way it is right now. Warcaster's 305, so basically we just had to find 1 speed somewhere, which was just like 1 glyph. Turvold 235 now. Pretty fast. He's faster than some people I encounter in like arena and stuff, which is pretty funny. And then our Renegade 234. So as I said, quite a speed bump, right? We had to. This was like 228 first. He was 230, so that's +5 right there. A lot of speed we had to add to everybody, but with that live arena bonus, that made it a lot easier for us. All right, so let's get into the run right here. It's 100% the same, so you're not going to see anything you didn't see last week, other than you're going to see her now heal up a little bit every time that she actually does an attack. And Turvold will heal up once he's below 50%, right? So the first turns are just trying to get in sync still. There you go. You saw 3,777 pop up here. Here you see the life from the life steel gear going up. And that's how we keep the team unkillable for 50 turns again. So quite the eye opener, actually, if you will. I thought the team was genius that we had, but it was actually only genius because Eurogrim was healing everybody, which, well, plot twist, I guess, to the whole story. So that means if you're going to copy this team, you got to make sure either you also have the Eurogram or like somebody doing that kind of effect, healing your team somehow, or you got to put your Renegade into a lifesteal set, right? There's a 15x going on right now for Maneater and Skytouch Shaman. Two epics that are actually both really good. Would love to have both of them on this account. And I think I'm just going to actually pull for the Maneater. Even though we have a composition now that 2 keys Ultra Nightmare and 1 keys Nightmare, if we're ever going to want to try and 1 key Ultra Nightmare, I think our best shot is going to be with Maneaters. So probably going to just try and get Maneaters whenever I can. I do eventually want to be able to 1 key with this account. It just makes life a lot easier, right? So it's just kind of like a bonus thing that we're going to be doing today. And I also just need a lot of champions still for faction wars. I've got this champion done, this Akemptum done during CVC, and during all the training events that have been going on during the week, I've been mostly working on building up champions for faction wars. And I noticed that a lot of my factions, well, actually, just a lot of factions in general, don't have that many champions to work with. Sylvan Watchers, we kind of knew already, but Shadowkin is pretty much lacking champions in general as well. Like, there's only 2 Void Epics, and there's only 1 Void Rare, and we have one of the Void Epics, Oboro, and we have the Void Rare already. So it basically means we're gonna have to pull multiple of the Void Rares, which is Fnatic, which is not. He's great to have as a one of, but having multiple Fanatics is probably problematic more than Fnatic, right? So the thing we're probably looking for the most there is, I'd say, Gembo, because Gembo is an AoE and we kind of need AoEs to clear the faction easier. And if it's not Gembo, you're starting to look at legendaries because there's just nothing else, right? A double Oboro could be handy. Like 2 of them could probably do some work too. But like 3-starring the whole faction? I don't know about that one. Seems pretty far-fetched at that point. And even with a Gembo, it still seems pretty far-fetched. And I kind of made a deal with myself, which I'll probably regret at some point, but I really do want to get Lydia on this account. Like, that is apart from the I want a full screen of level 60 Void champions. Rares and epics is allowed too, but I just want a full screen of that. When you look in my roster, right? That's my first goal. But my second goal is most definitely to try and get Lydia as well. And that part, I think, is going to be one of the biggest challenges for this account. Even though I thought Ultra Nightmare was going to be a challenge, we kind of knocked that out relatively early, I'd say. Yeah, as you can see, we're just doing it right now, and we don't even have Sylve the Drakes yet. So actually, we'll go over real quick in a second what day we're on. But yeah, Maneater helped me anymore in Faction Wars, I don't think, because I'm almost pretty much done there. I actually cleared stage 21 this week, and I 3-starred everything up until 19. So I still need to do 19, 20, and 21. And then that faction is literally completed. So he won't help there, but he will help in a lot of other places probably. And he might also help to, push this into the next level, maybe one key territory. Anyways, I'm gonna let this run, and I'll get back to you guys in a second, and we can pull some shards and see if we get lucky today, okay? See you in a minute. All right, here we are. As you can see, a couple of million above the target, right? 39.68. This is on Force Affinity, so they're actually getting a 25% attack debuff also. Have to keep that in mind, but they're doing good numbers, right? Oh, live arena is now open. That means it's 2 o'clock for me in the morning. It means it's a new day. Let's see what we get. Oh, that's nice. So we're 4 days off of Seal of the Drakes, as you can see. If there's any souls in here. Ooh. Imagine. Can we actually buy it? We could if we actually got him. There's also a dagger soul. Veteran. Gala. Actually, these are all void epics except for this dude. Alright. Funny. Another void. Wouldn't mind a Supreme Kale. I wonder if he would be better than a Kempton and clanboss, though. Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, we haven't really done much with this guy other than use him in clanboss, but we did use him to kill Nightmare, that's for sure. He's putting out a lot more damage than Eurogrim was. Had to fine-tune the rest a little bit, but I think it's completely worth it. And yeah, another 60 on the roster, as you can see. Let's put it like this. Yeah, it's not going horrible. Now, you might notice that I actually 6-starred this guy as well. I gave him some okay-ish gear, not the best in the world yet, but he does have his masteries already. Did we book him? Yes, we actually booked him as well. We can still +1 him too, which I think I'll go ahead and do right now. It doesn't really make sense for me to hang on. This is the wrong place. Where am I? Why am I there? I'm power. There you go. So we get a little bit of attack. The rest is like, okay, whatever. A little buff. A little tankier. Sure. Yep, let's empower him. Do it. Make some room in the account and get some stats on this dude. Our first +1 in the account. All right. There you have it. We still need to give him a banner, but we're out of potions, and it just happened to turn to Sunday today for me, so I'll probably be using gems to farm a lot of potions today. It's just, yeah, a little problematic at the moment. My potions, I can't send anyone. Look, 8400. So it's yeah, she needs some as well. So we'll be doing that today. But we want to come in here and take a look at these. Now, this is another champion that obviously we would definitely like. I've never had a Sify on any of my accounts before, and I think she's just kind of bonkers. The amount of things that she does. Like, this move is really, really good. Block debuffs on allies for 2 turns. Fills turn meters by 10%. Small turn meter fill, but it's something, right? Increased defense and 30% speed increase on all allies for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. That's a little longer than you would like, but I mean, these are a lot of things happening at the same time, right? So I mean, you can't be mad about this one. Um, Revives a single ally with 55% HP and a full turn meter. Full turn meter. Places 50% attack buff and increased crit rate on that ally for 2 turns. 4 turn cooldown as well. Heals each ally by 10% of their max HP at the start of their turn. Has a 40% chance of removing freeze and fear debuffs from each ally at the start of their turn. 50% chance when booked. So that's kind of handy. And then, of course, the notorious A1 of Siphi. It attacks when enemy has a 100% chance when booked of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn if the target's turn meter is equal to or above 50%. This debuff cannot be resisted. Heals all allies by 5% of their max HP if the target's turn meter is below 50%. Are you kidding me? This is so ridiculous, dude. This is one of the most annoying things in Arena for sure. So yeah, crazy champion. She has like 21k HP, I believe. She's the second fastest legendary champion, I believe, with 114 base speed. Only Lady Kimmy has 115, I believe. So really crazy champion. And yeah, I wouldn't mind pulling her for sure. Necrid is great too. I'm not gonna go over his kit. He's great too, but mostly for arena. And these two are also really, really good. But I mean, Maneater is a little better and would provide us or give us more of a shot to get a 1-key Ultra Nightmare team running in the future. Not even right now, I don't think, but definitely for in the future. So say that, and you might think to yourself, well, why are you pulling that if it's for the future? Well, I also just need more bodies in Faction Wars, and that's the truth. Like this week, I was trying to grind Faction Wars a little bit, and I just struggled in some of the factions not having enough bodies to keep alive to progress, right? So we're just gonna go for it. There's no fusion for us going on right now. Um, these are some pretty good champions to pull, so we'll see what we get here. Skirmisher, Barbarians. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Inflicts 15% more damage against targets who have no active buffs. Oh, I think I remember this one. This one can strip or kind of strip buffs, right? Attacks one enemy, decrease target's turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. Return cooldown. All right. It's not amazing, but it's a turn meter decrease a little bit, you know, like it might help against some bosses or whatnot. It's something. But I think this one is okay. Return cooldown, attacks all enemies, removes 1 random buff from each enemy. Like first off, it's an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown, which means you can like put her into a stun set or something, right? But it also removes 1 random buff from each enemy. So I don't know if Barbarians has that annoying Valkyrie wave in their faction wars or not. But if they do, a champion like this might help there, right? So I don't have her yet on this account. She's definitely better than Ox. So all right, Arbalester, you can move along, please. We don't. That was a waste. A Bellower. Now, normally I'd be happy with a Bellower, but like I said, we're kind of done with our Ogryn tribes already. We don't really need any Ogryn tribes. That said, if we do, need some kind of damage or even these debuffs that he brings, because he brings quite a lot. Decrease speed, decrease attack, decrease defense. I mean, block active skills also pretty decent. Um, it'll be nice to have him for sure. And who knows, maybe he'll just make faction wars even easier now. We'll guarantee that 3-starring of the stages, right? Because We don't know if it's in the bag yet. I have a feeling it's in the bag, but maybe we need some help. And well, Follower will definitely do that. So, hey, he's new. Cool. 2 new champions already. Now, this is a faction that really needs help, but the problem is that all their rares kind of suck. They kind of suck. Like, you have this guy, you have Veteran, and then you have the one for the Fusion. Veteran is like the best out of the 3, but he's still not great. He's like good against bosses because he has the decreased attack on the A1, but other than that, really not amazing. And this guy, man, really not good. Really not good. There's a new one, Bulwark. We didn't have him yet. Now that's a handy one because there's a lot of Cursed City stages where you need a burn champion to clear the stage. Like, what's the dragon called? I want to say it's not Eternal. One of the dragons, the ice dragon or whatever. And he brings the burn for that, right? So has a 75% chance of placing HP burn on a 4-turn cooldown unbooked. That's pretty good. Like, you don't really need to book this guy to make him useful, right? If you book him, it'll be 100% on a 3-turn cooldown, which is a lot better, but you don't really need to. The A1 also has a 15% chance of placing the small version of Weaken for 2 turns. That's on each hit because he hits twice. You can get that up to a 30% chance per hit. But even unbooked, he's still pretty good, right? And he has this passive. When attacked, has a 30% chance of extending duration of all debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn. So, yeah, pretty good. Defense in all battles, 17%. Nice. It's not that handy for us anymore, but he's still going to be handy for several things, at least. So we got him. Interceptor. Now, this is probably one of the worst rares out there. However, right now my high elves is Arbiter and Reliquary Tender. That's the squad. Those 2 and food is how I've been going through the levels. And I've actually 3-started up to like 12, I think. 12 or 13, one of the 2. And it's just basically those 2 dealing with the mobs, reviving everybody, and then the last wave hoping to revive everyone before the waves are killed by either Arbiter or Reliquary Tender. So getting an extra body there is going to be fantastic. It's going to speed things up so much. Because I believe she has an AoE. No, she's not. Okay, she only has a decreased turn meter thing. That's so weak, dude. This is really weak. Attacks one enemy has a 45% chance of placing sleep. Places a weaken. If it doesn't place a sleep. Yeah, this one is really, really weak. But at least she's defense based. I'm never gonna put books into this gal either because yeah, she's really not good. But I might like 40 her or something. Get her to level 40. Hopefully have her not die as quick as the food that I'm bringing along. Right. So um, I thought she actually had an AOE, so that makes her even worse than I thought that she was. Because she doesn't have that. So, yeah. Are we gonna get an epic Stitch Beast? I'm fine with that. I need a couple of Stitch Beast to be able to clear Faction Wars 21 once I get there anyway. So it's good that we have them available to us for when I want to work on that. That's going to take a while though, because I'm definitely not there yet. But are we going to get a epic? Is the question, dude. Another Arbalester, another one. Ay ay ay. Good thing we're getting more voids now, because otherwise I'd be kind of pissed off with what we've gotten so far. Huntress, that's just some more broadmaw fodder, right? Which Lizardman kind of feels like we're doing okay with the team that we have. I gotta check in a second, but I believe we hit stage 17 or 18 there too with the champions that we have right now. So yeah, 3 more to go. Bro. I have so many Rage Mongers. I actually leveled 2 more Rage Mongers to 40 just to push in Faction Wars. Pretty funny to see. They're just like all shooting their arrows and spreading up poisons over the waves. But yeah, they can start stopping now. I don't need that many Rage Mongers. We're gonna have to like start holding on to some of these to be books, probably, right? Okay, Vanguard. Did I have Vanguard already? I don't think I had him yet. But he might be one of those for that fusion, right? I'm not completely sure. Places it decrease defense, small version for 1 turn if the target's defense is lower than this champion's. That's horrible. A 1 turn defense down if the target's defense is lower than this champion. Okay. Gains nothing from books. I mean, it's places. So it's 100%, but it's also not really, because like putting a defense down on someone who has less defense than this dude probably doesn't matter, right? It probably doesn't matter. So that's pretty bad. Okay, places a provoke debuff for 1 turn. Again, 1 turn. What is this 1 turn thing? If the target is under decreased defense buff. Okay, this passive better be good, man. Decreases duration of all buffs on the attacker when hit. I mean, I guess that's the best use of this champion. Yeah, this is gonna have to be the best use case of the champion. Just put him there and be like, okay, guys, attack me, please, and watch all your buffs lose duration. Oh man, what do they say? Oh yeah, he's getting all the hate. They don't even, well, they want him a little bit in Faction Wars, but other than that. Oh yeah, Magic Keep. That makes sense. Magic Keep has a lot of buffs, so I guess he can semi strip them there, but jeez, dude. Even this, I've never even I didn't know there was 30. I thought 40 was the minimum, and I thought that was bad. 30 resistance, dude? Yikes. All right. Um yeah, I think this is going to be 12 rare, so it's pretty oh, okay. All right, it's not the man eater that we were hoping for, but my dark elves also will gladly take a Sylar, that's for sure. Now, this champion has, if I'm not mistaken, 3 AoEs. Attacks all enemies, attacks all enemies. Oh, this is not an AoE, but it places decreased speed and decreases their turn meter by 40%. This is a very good champion, okay? Axe all enemies. Axe all enemies has a 100% chance when booked of placing decreased accuracy for 2 turns, 3-turn cooldown. And then on a 4-turn cooldown, decreased speed buff on all enemies, decreased turn meter of all enemies by 40%. And then faction crypt speed buff 22%. Yeah, very, very solid. Good for arena. Can be used in Hydra if you want. Spider is obviously one of the places that she's known for. But we're gonna hold it right there and keep some more for next week, right? So we got some more work to do here. We got a lot of things we can work on for our faction wars. As you can see, Dark Elf really needed some help. Only 29 stars here. Orcs also need some help, but Ripper Fist is not going to be that, I don't think. Yeah, other than that, Lizard is going well. Knights is going well. Ogre almost finished. Barbarian is going decent. You know that we basically only have rares in there. Banner Lords is going okay. And these need some help, but we got some help for Dwarves as well today, so yeah, pretty cool. But thank you guys so much for watching again. Again, if you guys have any comments, comment down below. Obviously, I read all of them, and I try to respond when I can, and I try to use your ideas if I can as well. Great for me. Then means I don't have to think as much, right? So, anyway, hope you guys have a nice rest of your week, and catch you guys next week. Peace.